Hello, what is up, all of you beautiful subscribers? Welcome back to the Chapple Show. So what is on the docket today? Well, we're going to be talking about another Google public relations scandal. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the lottery. We're going to talk about the Neftlix effect, our stock market winners and losers, pizza vending machines, which is kind of funny, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, and business use in general. But the first thing I want to talk about today is actually this Google public relations scandal. And before I talk about this, I know that this video, just for talking about this, might get downvoted into or disliked into oblivion, but it's really important to talk about, especially because I know most of you watching this are aspiring entrepreneurs or people looking to, hire other people and get employees in the company and, build your own empire. Because I know that's what a lot of you subscribers are. So it's important to talk about this and just have an open discussion. And I'm really curious to see what you guys think about this. So I'll give you guys some background information on what this story is about. So Silicon Valley. All those giant tech companies in Silicon Valley like Google, Apple, whatever, Microsoft, whatever, tech company X, Y, or Z, they are known for being largely composed of employees that are white and male. So they are largely composed of people that are white and male. And so over the past decade or so, there's been a lot of blowback at these companies saying, look, you need to diversify, you need to hire more women, you need to hire people that are black or Asian or whatever, okay? You need to diversify as much as possible. So in response to that, over the past decade, companies like Google, they've been hiring like creating positions like president of diversity and like chief of integration at the company and stuff like that. And so recently there was this memo released from a Google employee saying about how, look, I have a slightly different ideology than most super liberal leftist people at the company, and I feel like I'm being suppressed. This memo got out here. Everyone's calling that person sexist and racist and all this stuff. I don't want to talk about that memo specifically here because I know that's very touchy, and I know a lot of people aren't going to want me to talk about that. What I really want to talk about here is hiring people and how optics can be very skewed by headlines. And so here's what I want to talk about first here. So Google releases a you know what? Here's what I want to talk about first, actually. Actually, no. We're going to talk about Google diversity here. So Google releases a diversity report every single year now where they tell you what their company is composed of. So Google right now has, I believe, 72,000 employees, maybe a little more than that now. 72,000 employees. And so here's the stats. 69% are men, 31% are women, 56% of those people are white, 35% Asian, and the rest of the races get 4% or less of the share of people that work at the company. Okay, so that's overall at the company. Now in the tech sector, so Google is a tech company, and most of the people that work there are like computer programmers, software engineers, whatever, just people that can code essentially and build websites and help Google out with the servers and infrastructure and coding and JavaScript and all that stuff. So 80% of people, of the tech employees, are men. 20% of the tech employees are women, 53% of those people are white, 39% are Asian, 3% or less for the rest of the races. And so here's what I really want to talk about here, is why that is, and why, if you're to look at these stats just on paper at some headline here, and, my girlfriend said, like, I really kind of opened her eyes about, like, being very logical with why stuff like this happens. And, if she were to see this headline about how 80% of tech employees at Google are male, she'd be like, that's sexist. They're trying to hire male and it's a boys club. And now I'll kind of explain just the background information on this because I know a lot of you are entrepreneurs and this is important to talk about. So, because I'm going to be hiring people very, very soon. So why would this be? Let's give a small business example here. Let's not tackle Google here. So my mom owned a yoga studio for about 5 or 6 years. And, at any one time, she would have 30 employees, maybe a little bit more, but we're going to say 30. So at any one time, she would have 30 employees. Of those 30 employees, roughly 28 of them would be women and 2 of them would be men. Out of the 30 employees, roughly, about 26 of them would be white people. White men and white or white women. And so there'd be 4 people of different races. So why would that be? Is my mom racist? Is my mom sexist? No. So why would that happen? Well, first of all, is that most people that are yoga instructors or interested in teaching yoga or interested in being involved in a yoga studio, the vast majority of them are people that apply to the job are women. And that's just kind of the way it is. Women are more interested in yoga, and that's completely understandable. And again, we live in an area right now in Canada. So if we live in Canada right now, in Oakville specifically, where most of the people that live in my town are white people. And that's just the way it is. Most people are white people. So you can't change the job pool, right? You can only pick from the certain pool that's available to you. So who applied for the jobs at my mom's yoga studio? It was largely women who were white, because our town is largely white people, and mostly people that want to go work at a yoga studio are women. And that's a very logical explanation for why the company was largely like that, composed like that. So now we're going to up this up to Google. Someone that's a tech company in Silicon Valley largely needs people of computer programming, software engineering, and so on. So why would this largely be people that are male and white? So we're going to give you guys the exact same example. So if Google were to send out, if Google were to take in 100 job applications for people that need to be software engineers or computer programmers, people that have computer science degrees, what do you think the composition of those applications are going to be? Well, look here. 81% of people that graduate with computer science degrees, the people that want to go into the tech sector, they're from the Department of Education. This is from the Department of Education. 81% of people that want to go to get a computer science degree and be a programmer, they're male. And 59% of those people are white, and almost 20% are Asian. And that's just kind of the way it is. Those are the people that apply to work at the tech companies. People that are interested in being a programmer, people that are interested in being a software engineer. It's 81% male and 59% white people. And so when a company is a tech company that's composed of, largely white males, I mean, this is a very simple explanation. That's just who's applying for the jobs. And so there's, statistically speaking, the best person who applies for the job, there's a very, very good chance that they're going to be a male and a white person. That's just kind of the way it is. I mean, people think that a lot of the tech companies are sexist. They're trying to build a boys club. They're trying to build a white supremacist, whatever, tech company. And no, I mean, entrepreneur like me, like anyone else, I worked for a guy named Jeff. He hired a bunch of people. He opened a bunch of restaurants and he owns a bunch of companies, hired maybe 100 people, has probably more than 100 people under him. He doesn't care. He really doesn't care what your skin color is or what your gender is. All right. If you can do the job and you're willing to, and you're the best person available, you get it. And that's just kind of the way it is. So if 100 people, if there's 100 job applications and they're all, white males, then there's a 100% chance that it's going to be white males. Or maybe you send out 100 job applications and 99 of them are, black female applicants. There's a 99% chance that you're going to hire a black female. And because that's who's going to, statistically speaking, be best for the job. And that's just kind of the way it is. So anyways, that's just from the entrepreneurial perspective. What do you guys think about all this? What do you guys think about hiring people? And this is just the logical explanation here. And this is what I call the extra click. And this is a very important concept I want to talk about before we move on here. So when you see a bunch of headlines, whether they're super conservative or super liberal, whatever they may be, here's what I recommend. All those catchy headlines. So, conservative one is like, look, there's a disproportionate amount of immigrants that are on welfare or something like that. All right. And then there's a super liberal one where it's like, there's tons of income inequality and we need to cut the CEO pay by 50% or 70%, whatever it may be. Here's what I recommend. When you look at any of those headlines, sure, you can click on them, but just take an extra click and just look into it a tiny bit more. Because that's one of the reasons why, I'm fairly educated on a lot of this stuff, is just take one more click. Because a lot of people skew the statistics, make people seem sexist or homophobic because of one outlier or one out of context information. When you give it context like this, it makes a lot more sense. And so whenever you guys do anything like this, whenever you guys look into anything, just take that extra click, look into it. And sure, there's some cases where the headline might be right. I mean, there are certainly bosses out there that are sexist. There are certain bosses out there that are homophobic. There's certain bosses out there or, people out there that, are just not good people. That happens. But most people are good at the end of the day. Most entrepreneurs are people like me who are just, do you think that I'm evil? If you do, then maybe you agree with all the headlines and stuff. But anyways, I needed to talk about that. It was very important to talk about We're going to move on here, though. We're going to talk a tiny bit about the lottery, actually. So we're going to talk about this lottery and how... We're not going to talk about this headline specifically here. We're going to talk about the lottery in general. And so, statistically speaking, you're supposed to... Or no, sorry. The odds of you winning the lottery for the next jackpot here are supposed to be double. And so a lot of people are buying lottery tickets. In fact, actually, here's why I want to talk about this. Was that I was away for a few days. I was still working. And, you know, a few people that aren't, I guess, entrepreneurs and, you know, aren't of the same mindset that I guess I am and a lot of you are, you know, they were saying like, oh, we need to be buying a lot of lottery tickets. We can win that $50 million. And, you know, what I recommend to you guys is like, look, there's a $300 million prize. That looks really good. I've bought a handful of lottery tickets in my life and I've gotten lucky and I've won on almost all of them. Only like $20 at a time or $5 at a time. But, you know, if you're building a business, if you're an entrepreneur, if you are any educated financial investor or want to get rich or want to get wealthy in the future, lotteries are, I mean, what they are really is, I hate to say this, but it's kind of like a tax on the poor. And you should not be playing the game thinking that you're going to win. You should be thinking that you're buying the ticket, you're buying the $4 ticket, the $5 ticket, because you want to have that little bit of rush of excitement that there is that, or that little bit of hope that you might win. You might get that temporary high for maybe a day or an hour or whatever when you go check your numbers. That's what you're playing for. You're not going to win. You're not going to win at the $300 million. Statistically speaking, you're going to get hit by lightning a few times before you even win that money. And by the way, on this money here, on this $300 million that you could win, I mean, you get taxed more than $50 million on that, actually. I believe, isn't it like 40% tax on those winnings? I thought it was more than that. And so if of this 300 million, you're only really taking home about 150, 160. And I know that's still a lot of money only, right? But, you know, there's a lot of stuff behind the lottery. What would you do with the lottery money, guys? What would you seriously do? If you won, after everything, if you won $100 million, what would you guys do? Seriously, what would you guys do? For me, I mean, I already know what I would do. I want to be a real estate investor, so I'd put, you know, probably, here's what I would do. I'd probably buy a dream house. I'd buy like a $5 to $10 million really nice house. That'd be my one massive expense. I'd probably give, you know about $5-10 million to, you know, family and to make their lives a little bit better here, make sure my mom can retire, all that stuff. And hopefully I can build a tech company up soon so that she can retire. That's one of the reasons why I want to build a company, by the way. But, you know, I'd probably give some to family, and then I'd probably put like a lot of it, like tens of millions, into real estate investing. I really want to do that. I'd put it all into apartment buildings and all that to lower my taxes, get some more income in from there, and that's what I would do. And then just, you know, try to build businesses, because I wouldn't stop working. Even if I won $100 million, I wouldn't stop working. Would you guys? Leave a comment down below. Would you stop working if you won $100 million? Or would you just change your career, or maybe change your career path? Think about that. Because a lot of you right now listening to this are at a 9 to 5. You're listening to this in your car. You're listening to this at home, before bed, in the morning, at the gym, right? That's who a lot of you listening to this in podcast form. That's how you're listening to it. And so what would you do with the money? Would you quit your 9 to 5 and then just go try to launch a tech company? I mean, isn't that kind of what Elon Musk did in a way? He made $20 million after his first company. And he could have sat on his ass, invested that, and lived his life as a multimillionaire forever. What he did is he took $20 million, he bought whatever, a McLaren car and like a nice house, and then he invested the rest of it into PayPal. And then he took his PayPal money and invested it all into SpaceX and Tesla and Solar City. And so that's more of what I would do. If I were to get a large sum of money, I'd use that money to build other businesses, because that's fun. That's what makes life worth living, I guess. I wouldn't be one of those people that just sits on my ass all day collecting, you know, not even collecting checks, just sitting on my ass all day, watching TV, playing video games, and that sounds like fun for maybe a day or two. But I wouldn't be doing that for more than, I mean, think about this. I just went to a cottage recently. So I just went to a cottage, friend's cottage, or my girlfriend's, you know, best friend's husband's cottage. It was a long story. So I went there, and like, if I don't work, I was there for like 12 hours and I was like, okay, I have to work. And it was like midnight or 1 a.m. I got up and I started coding for like 4 hours, from like 1 to 5 a.m. And there's that itch. Like, I don't have that sit on my ass all day and just do nothing and just have fun all day and not have any cares in the world, not think about changing the world. I mean, it's fun. And I think that a lot of you guys got to have that drive too. If you guys want to start making some money, being more successful, building a business, whatever it may be, you guys got to have that drive. I mean, I was supposed to take a couple days off on the weekend. I ended up working for like 8 hours, 8 to 10 hours out of 48 that I was there. So that's some perspective for you guys. Now, I didn't really sleep a lot. I wasn't exactly the best guest, and my apologies to the family. But, that's kind of what happens. That's the life I want to live. And maybe it's what you guys want to live too. Maybe it's not. Who knows? So we're going to move on here to the next topic. I actually want to talk about FX. So I didn't mention this on the top of the show here. FX is a TV network, I guess, channel, I guess. And so this is the Netflix effect. This is the Netflix effect here. So they are offering their customers no commercials for $6 a month. That's really interesting. No commercials for $6 a month. And this is the second company that's done this. AMC here, so AMC Networks, announced a plan to offer AMC Premiere, which is a $5 a month service. It is launching with Comcast, where it's no commercials. And to be honest, this is something where if TV goes this route, we're going to be seeing a little bit of a revival of TV potentially. Think about this. No commercials and everything becomes a little bit more on demand in the future. This is something I did not expect. This is out of left field for me. I didn't even think about this. What if TV networks changed their plan where everything became on demand? Sure, you can still release one episode a week, like Chelsea lately does that on Netflix. Release one episode a week on a certain time and place, and then you watch it after then. But what if everything becomes on demand like Netflix? And it's all no commercials, and it's just a subscription base. What if TV networks start doing that? How interesting would that be? TV could see a revival. And this is amazing. Like, seriously, this is mind-blowing to me. I just didn't think about this. I didn't think about TV networks just charging people monthly fees for no commercials and going the Netflix route and just copying Netflix. That could help TV survive, guys. And instead of Netflix and YouTube just taking over, maybe this is a way for TV stations like FX and AMC to at least help, bridge the gap between them and Netflix. So that's really interesting. What do you guys think about all that? And here's the more important question. Would you guys get this subscription for your favorite TV show? So whether it's, I don't want to say ESPN because live sports is still kind of different, but for a station like I guess HBO is kind of commercialless. I'm trying to think of, one where you pay subscription, there's commercials, but you don't need them. Maybe one like a YTV for kids, or maybe a Discovery Channel, or maybe Showcase, or maybe, I guess NBC is news, but maybe NBC or Fox or something. Would you pay a subscription, an additional subscription of a few dollars a month to get no commercials? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. So I want to move on here to another Netflix story. Netflix had a big story day today. So Netflix made its first acquisition, and it's a comic book enterprise. So they actually bought a comic book company. I believe it's like Miller World. They bought a company called Miller World. And so here, I'll read this paragraph here. So the company said Monday that it is acquiring Miller World, founded by Comic-Con legend Mark Miller, the creative force behind a number of stories that were turned into films like Kick-Ass, Kingsman, The Secret Service, Logan, and Captain America: Civil War. This is interesting because Netflix already, here's what I thought about this. Netflix could be getting into those different universes, but they already have kind of created those universes. They made the deal with Marvel. They've been doing Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and Daredevil and Gotham. They've done all of those Netflix original, or is Gotham Netflix? I don't know if Gotham's Netflix original, but they've been making a lot of comic book series on Netflix, and they're buying more. They're going more towards that route. I guess that's the next route that they want to do, or maybe they want to just start launching some movie. I don't really know what they're going to do here with this. But I guess it's important because they're getting closer to the creative side, and maybe they can own not only the rights to those comics, but also, make those comics into movies and series that they could do on their Netflix show. So that's really interesting. I thought I would mention it here. What do you guys think of Netflix potentially making more comic book series and movies on their platform? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. So the next thing I want to talk about is actually a Little Caesars. This is just a quick 2-minute thing I want to talk about. Not even. So Little Caesars is launching a pizza vending machine. They're going to pilot this at about, what, 10 restaurants or so. So you can literally walk into the vending machine or walk into the store, click a few buttons, pay for it, walk out with a hot and ready pizza. So why are they doing this? This is really simple. They're going the McDonald's route. So McDonald's has replaced a lot of their cashiers with those electronic kiosks at their store. That's what's happening. They're doing that to reduce their costs, right? So make sure they don't have to hire as many cashiers, makes it more efficient, things along those lines. Same thing's going to be happening at Little Caesars. This is a genius idea in my mind. So all you have to do is, you're going to have the cook in the back. You're going to have the Little Caesars cook in the back making all the pizzas. They put it into the vending machine into like slot A9, slot B10 or B1 or whatever. And so what you can do is you walk in, put your card into the vending machine, type in, I want pizza X. I also want that drink in the top corner. So we're going to, if you've never been into Little Caesars, actually, they have hot and ready pizzas. So all of their pizzas, you can go in, walk out in a minute, and it's pick up pizza. It's all ready for you. You don't even need to order. It's been sitting in this hot, heating plate for like the last hour or so. You walk in, you pick it up, and you're good to go. It takes a minute or two. So that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna have these heated vending machines where you're just gonna be able to click and get pizzas. And so that's gonna eliminate some cashiers, and it might on the bottom line, it might affect or Little Caesars like cash flow. Putting a few $1,000s into this vending machine to each one of those, it's going to reduce payroll by more than a few $1,000s a year. So in the long run, this is a good thing for Little Caesars. It's also another sign about how robots are replacing our jobs here. So that's really interesting. Pizza vending machines. I'm excited. I mean, I'm trying to lose some weight here. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I lost a few pounds, but I've been trying to stay away from pizza, but pizza's my favorite food still. I'm trying to stay away. It's been a few weeks since I've had some pizza, but oh man, is it delicious. I'd totally just go to Little Caesars once just to get one of those pizzas from the vending machine. So anyways, we're going to move on to, I think we'll move on to cryptocurrency. We're going to move on to Bitcoin here. I've just been to update you guys. I'm going to update you guys here. I've been away a few days. So Bitcoin, man, it rebounded. Just in the past, let's see, even a week. So even when I was gone, I mean, I was kind of getting a little bit busy here around August 1st, 2nd, 3rd, so I didn't really talk about it. But I mean, from August 2nd, Bitcoin was at $2,675 that was on August 2nd, and today it hit an all-time high. Let's go up here of $3,420. So, man, that is a, 50% increase almost? No, about 35 to 40% increase, I would guess, just in the past week or so. So, again, this is some weird I mean, look at this. Let's see Bitcoin prices the past year. They've had, again, great growth here, especially from April to about June. And then, we see these giant dips here that happen after a hack, or they happen after some bad PR, or after the Bitcoin exchanges decide to split the currency or whatever. And we see these giant dips here, but I mean, it looks like it's still going up. It's just it's looking a lot more like a stock now. It's looking a lot more like an up and down stock than just this shooting straight up from April to June like an unsustainable commodity bubble. So that's really interesting here. Bitcoin's it's turning into not as much of a hot commodity anymore. It's more of a it's turning into as volatile as a stock in my mind here. A very, very volatile stock, by the way. So that's interesting. It looks like the complete hot streak for it is over, but it's still going up. I mean, it hit an all-time high today. So if you're invested in Bitcoin, I mean, good job, I guess, for holding on to all this. I'm still too scared to invest it, so there's no chance in hell I'm going to buy Bitcoin right now. So we're going to move on to stock market winners and losers. No big, giant, fancy companies are winners or losers today, except for one. We're going to get to that in a second here. But our first winner today is actually Rockwell Collins. And so they are an American multinational company headquartered in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, providing avionics and information technology systems and services to government, essentially. So they had a good day today. I believe that they had good earnings here. I thought that they had good earnings here, but that's another company. So they went up 6.7% today. Their market cap is about $20 billion right now. So Rockwell Collins, they had a good day today. They're a winner. Tyson Foods, they had good earnings today. So they are up 5.69%. Their earnings beat estimates. So they're up 5.69%. They're a $22 billion market cap company. NVIDIA was our most known stock market winner today. So they're a $100 billion market cap company. They pay a small dividend now. That's interesting. And they're up 3% today because of some estimates that they could beat earnings. Some earnings previews here. Or did they beat earnings today? I believe that there wasn't some earnings previews here saying that they're probably going to beat estimates. And so they're up 3% today. And again, NVIDIA, I mean, look at this, man. They're so on fire. They were $67 a share in November, and now they're 172. We're talking 155% return here. That's crazy. So they're the last winner today, and our stock market loser is Newfield Exploration Company. And to be honest, a lot of oil and petroleum companies in general, they had bad days today. But the worst one was Newfield Exploration Company. They're down 5% today. And again, just oil was down as a whole today. There isn't really much explanation. Oil and gas and energy had a bad day today. So I think that's going to wrap this video up. And I'd like to thank you very much for watching. Make sure to check out my stock market program in the link down below if you want to see what I'm invested in. And I haven't actually invested in anything in about a month because, as you guys know, I'm trying to save up a little bit so I can buy some more inventory for my e-commerce marketplace. So I'll probably start making more trades again in maybe a month or so. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so check out my stock market program and the link down below, as well as the Wealth Accelerator, if you're interested in that. But I'd like to thank you very much for watching. You're all very beautiful people, and I'll see you guys in the next video.